heard some amazing stories of survival, strength, and heroic rescues that happened during the Oklahoma City bombing. And now we get to reunite one first responder with the child he helped save that day. News 9's Adriana Ivashinsky shares their emotional reunion.
I remember a lot. Most of it I'd like to forget.
Officer Don Hall was in his car just blocks away from the Murrah Federal Building when he heard and felt the blast.
Wow. Look at that. It is absolutely incredible.
This is just devastating.
He immediately rushed to the scene and started pulling out bodies.
You have to understand, I have a history there. I was assigned to DEA for several years, and it's personal. You know, it's personal to me.
Don pulled little Joseph Weber out of nearly a foot of rubble. And a News 9 photographer was there when it happened. You can see by his expression that Don had no idea if the little boy cradled in his arms would live or die.
As I picked him up, I don't know whether, just the movement, shock, or whatever, he started to cry.
That cry meant Joseph was alive, and Don says he did everything he could to keep him that way. Don says he kept him tight against his chest to control the bleeding and to shield Joe's parents from seeing the injuries.
I remember turning my back to the Webers on purpose because I didn't want her to see him this way. I mean, I had pretty much assumed that he wasn't going to make it.
But then Don got a call that Joseph did make it. He even visited the Webers in the hospital.
This is a full-grown Simba, which means he has to become full-grown.
The last time Don saw Joseph was a year after the bombing, during a reunion of sorts between the two families. Don's girls played right alongside the little boy he helped save.
So I felt much better, knowing that at least one that, I brought out lived.
Years passed and the kids grew older, but Don always wondered what had become of that precious blonde baby boy he had held so close.
I don't even know what I'm supposed to do.
And then, 20 years after that tragic day,
shake his hand, you grab his neck, what do you do?
They got to see each other again. And we were there
Hi.
For the emotional reunion.
Come here. Thanks for allowing this.
Joseph, or Joe as he likes to be called, is now a 21-year-old college student attending OSU. He's studying zoology, but is an artist at heart. This is just some of his artwork, a true testament to his talent of capturing moments in time. But this is a moment in time both this hero and survivor will never forget.
Still trying to take it in. It's cool. Now that I actually realize the significance of the day, it's really cool to finally meet you now that I know who you are.
The scar on his cheek is still there, but Joe says he has no memory of what happened that day, and that's something Don is very thankful for.
I've always wondered, but I never wanted to impose. You were the only good that entire day.
In downtown Oklahoma City, Adriana Ivashinsky, News 9.
Wow, an incredible story right there. And now that Joe and Don have finally reunited, the two plan to keep in touch. Joe even wants to be at Don's police retirement, which is set for later on this year.